Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to today's video, which is the fourth look using the Cold Moon palette. This is my week of Cold Moon. I have a week of series on my channel where I dedicate an entire week of uploads to just one eyeshadow palette. So be sure to check in the description box for looks 1 through 3. They're all linked. I also have an Ensley Rain playlist. I also have a week of playlist where I've got dozens of videos uploaded featuring weeks of just one eyeshadow palette. Okay guys, in look number 4, I'm trying to use colors I haven't really played with yet. When I look at my palette, every single matte has brush marks in it, which of course are different from swatch marks, because swatching we tend to go in a circle and you get like the fingerprint lines, but brush marks are more like little pits. And I have brush marks in all of the shadows. So between this week of, or a few other looks I've done off camera, which will be in my next while I was out, I've used every matte in the palette. As far as the shimmers, in the week of, I'm pretty sure I've used Snow Crystal, Saturnalia, Aurora, Kion, Kalikatsaros, maybe not Wolf Moon, and I did use this one, Storm Fairy. So I don't think I've used this one in a look, although honestly I don't remember. Sorry. I didn't take the time to go back. I'm just filming while I have a chance. I know I haven't used Forbidding at all in any of my looks, and I don't think I've used Borealis at all either. So those are the shimmers I want to focus on today. One, maybe both, and I don't remember if I've used Snowdrop. But anyway, I'm having a good time, and I do look forward to doing today's look. I want to do a halo eye today because I haven't done a halo eye yet with this palette. So I've primed my eyes already with the Glamlight Icing Primer. Check the description box for a list of everything that I'm using. Things are linked if they're still available for purchase. And now let's dive into look number 4 with the Cold Moon palette. Because there's not a huge assortment of mattes in this palette, it's pretty much 50-50. It might be exactly 50-50. I don't like to repeat my looks, but when you've got a limited selection, of course, at some point you're going to start redoing combinations. And I think that this palette, what it really is offering, besides the quality, of course, as far as final looks, is the shimmers. You're going to build maybe a gray foundation or a pinky mauve foundation, and then the shimmers will bring out different lighting, shifts, colors, etc. Because a couple of these shimmers are quite shifty. So I'm not going to stress too much about repeating the matte combinations. I'm just doing what I feel like doing. So because I'm planning on using the pinky shimmers, I think I'll stay away from the pinky mattes and do more of the gray mattes. To that end, I'm starting with the shade Rebirth, and I'm going to put this in my crease. Well, because I'm doing a halo eye, it's not going to be the full crease. I think I'll put it in the outer corner here, and I'm going to try to remember, I forgot this the last time I did a halo eye, I'm going to try to remember to keep an angle. So the mattes are kind of built out this way. I'm not really sure if I want to deepen it from here. This might be deep enough for my purposes today. I'm going to need a smaller brush, I think. That one will work. This is a Blend Bunny B3, and I'll put this in my inner corner as well. For just a moment as I started this look, I forgot that I was intending to do a halo eye. I'm going to take a combination of Winter Solstice and Cold Moon and just tap the edges of, no, that's too dark. Just Winter Solstice then. Tap the edges of this and soften it all. As we're getting close to the end of November now, I'd love to hear what you guys are wanting to see at the end of the year. You know that within this space, people often do theme videos, tags, holiday kinds of games, declutters, of course, collection tours, etc. That's just what people do. And I think it's fun. I think those are really fun. 2 years ago, I had a really fun December with videos like that. And then last year, having another baby, it just didn't really happen. I don't know what this year's going to look like. Last year, not last year, 2 years ago, a lot of my December videos had been pre-filmed because I knew that I was going to be having a baby. And so I just did. I mean, I had more free time with one less child. That took way too long. But I also knew when I was going to have the baby, approximately 1 month. So I was doing lots and lots of pre-filmed content. I had the time. I don't have as much time now, and I think that's entirely reasonable. But I do like to do something around the holidays, and I do plan on doing a collection tour and declutter. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. But if you have any other ideas or tag videos, you could recommend something for me to check out, or themes. I don't know. I've had a lot of ideas in the past, and I'm just not sure what December is going to look like on my channel this year. But it's fun. It's fun to play like holiday sorts of games. Now this is looking fine, but I think the color needs to come over just a little bit more. So now I will go into Cold Moon, just to bring sort of a middling tone onto the center of the lid space. I'm not going to completely cover it. Yeah, and I'll go back into the darker shade as well, Rebirth, and drag Rebirth over a little bit more also, trying to remember to have the angle that I was aiming for. I mean, it's a spotlight eye or a halo eye. You need to have contrast. It has to be dark in one spot and then let the spotlight part really be shining through the center. So you've got to have a difference in tone. I think I'm going to be putting a shimmer in the center of my lower lash line, which I don't usually do, but these shimmers are so beautiful and striking. I kind of want to. So I will just take Rebirth, I think, and put it at the inner corner here, just like where the eyelids meet, not necessarily an inner corner highlight. But I'm going to leave the center a little bit blank to the center of the lid. I'm sorry if my mirror's in your way. The center of the lower lash line is going to stay empty, I think. Okay, and now for a shimmer. Like I said, I was talking about Forbidding and Borealis, these two here. And then also, I wasn't certain if I'd used Snowdrop yet. I kind of think not. I think I've mentioned it a few times in this week of Cold Moon, but I don't think I've used it. So I'm not going to take Forbidding. It's a beautiful shade. Let me swatch them for you. Here is Borealis, and here's Forbidding. Forbidding even feels a little bit drier. This is Forbidding. Oh, it's so striking though. Okay. They're both beautiful. All the shimmers in the palette are beautiful, excellent quality. I'm just leaning slightly towards the ones that are a little bit more impactful for this brand. Like, even the most boring shimmers in this palette are still quite amazing. Like, that's amazing. But when it's compared to the other shimmers in the palette, it's just a little less exciting. Also, the other thought is that this one, Borealis, has kind of a black base. Why don't we play with both of them? I'll take Borealis first and then Forbidding. So I'll put Borealis down first. Do you hear my little ones playing? Oh my goodness, they're so sweet. But they're also such stinkers. They're supposed to be resting. They are sort of resting. They're playing happily together, and I can't complain about that. But I'm gonna have to go and remind them that it's nap time. That's Borealis. I'll blend in a minute. Here is Forbidding. Just tap that right on top. Pretty much, I'm not going as high, I'm not going as far to either side. I'm just putting it in the very center, like the apex, the curve of the eyelid or the eyeball. Yeah. To brighten only that spot. Now I'm taking the brush that I used for my original color, and I don't have more product on it. I'm just, whatever's already living there, I'm just tapping the edges of the shimmer so that I can soften it all a little bit. And I think that I need to deepen a bit more. So I'm picking up Mother's Night, which is the deepest matte in the palette. It's also a little bit more browny kind of colored, but when I'm putting it on top of these gray tones, I think it's not going to pull too warm. Just need a little bit more depth, at least in the outer corner. When I'm doing a halo eye, I don't always make the inner corner as deep as the outer, but I think I will today. Just here. Okay, that's a little better. And then finally, I am going to take Snowdrop I'm gonna put it with my finger, like right here, without getting fallout all over my face. So here's Snowdrop. I'm holding up my mirror as though I can see in it. Like I'm not looking at my mirror. Okay. I'm just tapping it, not wiping, just tapping. Yeah, that's pretty. It brings out a bit of gold. The shimmers do seem to transfer nicely from the finger onto the eye. And then I was gonna say take whatever's left and put it up here, but I think not. I think I'll take whatever's left and put it here. Yeah, I'll clean that up a little bit. Do the other side, and I'll be back. This is the final look. Now that everything's done, I want to first tell you what I did to complete the look, and then we'll chat a little bit about this week of and the palette itself. In my waterline, I have this from ColourPop. This is the shade Plum Smash. I have mascara on, and then on my lips, I've just been wearing, during this video, the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Lip Oil in the shade Gem Session, no, in the shade Honey Talks. And then I have a little bit of blush from Tre Luce. The shade is Ready to Bounce Vacation. Looks like that. It's quite pink. And then because I was feeling all the pink vibes, I guess, I went into my Frosé highlighter palette from BH Cosmetics and I used these two. This is Icy and this is Boozy. Anyway, so that's the whole look. I actually really like it. I think it's so pretty. And the pink shimmers were way more purple than I was expecting, particularly the shade, what was it, Borealis? Yeah, particularly Borealis, way more purple than I was expecting it to be, which is a lovely surprise, because that means that the palette is more versatile since those two shades look more similar in pan, but clearly on the eye you're going to get a different result. And on the finger they didn't look quite like that either. These shifty shades, it's always a surprise. I'm trying to think about which eye look has been my favorite this week. I'm not sure. I really, really like this one. I think this might be my favorite. The first two were really pretty, but they were also kind of similar because I used the same structure of, you know, light to dark. My husband is doing an oral presentation in class right now. He's doing online school, so he's presenting right now and the kids are being loud. Anyway, I think that I was saying that this might be my favorite of the 4 looks this week. The first 2 looks were really pretty. All the looks have been really pretty. But the first 2 had the typical, my standard style of light to dark. And while they were really lovely, and there was some variance in the mattes, because for one I might have chosen the pinky mattes and the other I might have gone with the more gray mattes, whatever. The final result was much more similar. And then in the look number 3, I went much more smoky with that dark, more black-based shimmer. And then today is the Halo Eye. But again, the shades are shifting and there are different final results and effects. And I just think that they're all beautiful. I think this palette is really quite lovely. It is, in some ways, everything I expected as far as just excellent quality and super impactful shimmers. But I'm actually really impressed by the mattes as well. The mattes have been fantastic. There is some fallout with the shimmers. I don't really care that much about, just little speckles. And when I wash my makeup off at the end of the day, after wearing the Cold Moon palette, my husband's like, your face is sparkly. So the sparkles do stay. So it's a little bit of like some of the shimmers are a little bit more messy. It doesn't bother me that much. I mean, I don't mind when I've washed my makeup off and I still have a couple little flecks of glimmer. I think it's pretty, and it'll come off after a few days anyway. But there you go, guys. That is my week of Cold Moon. I do hope that you'll check my description box because I've got all of the previous looks for this week, as well as my Ensley Rain playlist, as well as my week of playlist. I've got several dozen week of video series in my week of playlist using lots of different palettes from lots of different brands. And now it's time for us to think about what my next week of should be. I'd love to hear your suggestions. I might do a poll on my channel at some point in my community tab, you know, what should my next week of be? Because my collection is always like, it's a little bit fluid. Things come in, come out, shift and change, and just have to see what I've got that I haven't focused on yet. Thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear in the comments which of these looks has been your favorite. Have you tried to recreate any of them? Do you have the Cold Moon palette? Do you have any Ensley Rain palettes? Tell me what you think. Also, do me a favor, please, and tell me in the comments what you would like to see in the month of December, because now I'm starting to plan and think ahead and go, okay, what do I have time for realistically to plan really, really long series that are like requiring me to post every day or something? It's just too much. I can't commit to that because my life, I mean, I've got little kids, so parenting has to be my primary focus and responsibility. I'd love your suggestions on some like one and done kinds of videos for the holiday season. Do you want to see anything specific? Do you want to see a theme? Do you want me to build on last year's videos or take a video I did last year and redo it with my new collection? That could be fun. Maybe I'll look into that myself. Yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback. Per usual, I enjoyed chatting with you all in the comments. Perhaps you'll consider liking and subscribing if you haven't done so and you do enjoy this content and would like to see more. And I appreciate your time so much. Thank you for clicking on my video. I look forward to chatting with you in my next one. Bye.